How you doing today? Today's video or quick shooting is something a little bit different. I got a friend over at his name is James. He runs the YouTube channel Hook-N-Hoof Outdoors, and he been getting comments on his shooting videos like we all do by everybody on YouTube and Facebook. And one of the big comments he gets all the time is his bow is too heavy and he's got to shoot lighter pound bows if he wants to be able to shoot when he's older. And I think his main bow is 59 pounds and at 28, but his draw length is probably closer to 55, which isn't a heavyweight bow. So he made a comment. He talked about that in one of his videos, and he made the comment that he pointed out that most of these older men that are claiming they have shoulder injuries from shooting heavy bows when they were young and can't shoot a heavy bow any longer, that most of them had a previous injury or something like that caused it. And he pointed out too, a lot of it has to do with our diet that we run today, and high sugar diets. And he specifically said to, lay off the moon pies and you'll be a lot better off. Now, he got a lot of hate for that. And I jokingly told him, I said, man, you need to go buy some moon pies and create a challenge. And, and I told him, I said, see how many we could put in a single one or something like that. But he finally did. He went out and bought he had to go to, I think he said 4 stores to find a moon pie. I guess down there where he lives at, everybody's eating all the junk food up and can't keep it on the shelf. But he bought a box of mini moon pies, hung one on his target. He was able to shoot it. He called it saving the shoulder shot. And he did break down to the haters on YouTube, and he shot his lightest weight bow he had. And at the end of that video, he called me out and told me, he said, I need to go find some moon pies and take a shot also. So that's what I'm gonna do today. So I went in and I found a box at the grocery store, but these are blueberry. I didn't even know they made them because I don't usually buy this stuff. So I got one stapled on my target down there, and I'm gonna take a shot with it. Now I know I'm gonna get comments just like I do on all my other videos from all these experts out here in YouTube and Facebook and all these other places on mistakes I'm making on shooting my bow. Same thing James gets. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care. Make the comments. I don't care. I'm shooting a 60-pound longbow. I'm not going to go get my 45-pound bow that's in the house because I'm not going to drop down my weight. You tell me, well, you're young, and when you get old, you're going to be in the same situation. I'm about to turn 54 in a couple weeks. I have previous shoulder injuries. I tore this shoulder up playing high school football. Then I tore it up several times again riding bulls when I was younger. And I damaged it a lot riding bulls. That's why, if you'll notice, you never see me turn to the right very far. That's about as far as I can rotate to the right because bull stepped in my back, messed up my right hip. I cannot turn that way. You see me in my saddle videos and all, when I set up, I make sure I set up to where I can turn to the left. I can rotate back this way a little bit, but to the right I can't. But that's because of all the stuff I did when I was younger. I'm still shooting these what y'all call heavyweight bows. I'm not gonna stop. I get all kind of comments on my shooting form and everything else. I respond to every one of them, but I don't listen to you. The simple fact I don't listen to them is because I've noticed 95% of the people that put those comments on a video or anything like that or make those comments to you, they're not man enough to do what we do. They're not man enough to set cameras up and film or video their entire shot process and then put it out there for the world to see. I don't put them out there to try to teach you how to shoot a bow. All I'm doing is filming my shooting, my time in the outdoors, and I'm putting them on the YouTube channel to preserve them. And if somebody wants to sit around and watch them, they watch them. But 90% of the people that will make that comment do not have the guts to do that. Also, I'm a firm believer that if Howard Hill himself stepped out of heaven today and came back to this earth, picked up one of his longbows and started shooting it, most of y'all internet gurus or internet experts that are listening to some of these experts today that are selling you these courses on how to shoot will tell him point blank he's wrong, that he's not shooting correctly, and he's the best shot. If there's a better shot in the history of a bow, tell me who it was. If there's anybody else that matches that man's resume, tell me who it was. That man told you point blank, when you release that arrow, neither hand moves. Today they teach you got to come back and touch that shoulder. If you're not slapping that shoulder on the release, then you're not drawing properly. But they cannot match Howard Hill's resume. I've watched it to where people are so fake on that. I watched a guy on TikTok the other day, had a shooting video up. He would shoot, his arm would come down here, and then he remember he got to touch his shoulder and he'd come back up here. They fake it most of the time. One big point on reason I have these cameras running a lot when I'm shooting is so I can go back and watch how I shoot. I can go ahead and tell you, from these cameras, I figured out that 90% of the times I make a bad shot, it isn't because I make a short draw or I do something bad release or anything like that. It's because I drop my bow arm. You don't see it in the final video because of the way I edit my shots. And I run a 2-camera system. I got one camera on me, I got one camera on the target, and as soon as the bow's released, I use the sound spike between both cameras to line those footages up, and then I'll cut to the arrow. So you don't see the follow through. I learned by filming these these shots. One of my biggest problems I've been having on some of my bad shots was my follow through. I pretty much corrected it. And I have been working to strengthen this shoulder joint back up that stopped me from going to full draw to where I can get back to that full draw. Because I was a lot more accurate back then than I am without it. I can make accurate shots at any draw length I decide to shoot, at any speed I decide to shoot. I will miss some. I'm not perfect. I'm not Howard Hill. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to shoot a bow. I've never one time commented on somebody's video and told them, unless they asked a specific question, and I thought I might have the answer on it. So I'm going to keep shooting this heavyweight bow. I'm going to shoot this moon pie for James to help him knock out some of this junk food, to help y'all with your diets. So I'm going to do this right here. When I get done, I may even film some of the drills I do during the day here. I don't know, I may make another video. But I will put the cameras up, I will do my normal practice, and then I'll go along my day. So let me get the downrange cameras turned on and we'll get it straightened out, or we'll get started here. I think I'm about 12 yards from it. And the color of that moon pie, it's kind of hard for me to, I don't actually see the moon pie, I just see where the circle that's covering up is. I can see a little bit of reflection off the plastic, so from the sun, so I guess I'll use that for my aiming point. Oh, dead, that looked like dead center. It jumped a little. Let me see what I just about an inch low on that one. But if that had been a deer or a pig, though, he'd still been in the back of my truck. That one's about an inch high. I don't even know if it's an inch high. It's probably touching the plastic. Right next to that one. Well, it took James 3 shots. He's a little bit better shot than I am, I believe, so Maybe I get it on this one. Oh. Tried to compensate. And that looked like dead center. Well, just off to the center, but I still hit it. But this is kind of joking around a little. You know, where we're just taking some of the comments we get on our videos and we're running with them, and we're using that for ideas for new videos. But it's still pretty good practice. I haven't walked up there and seen how tight my group is on that. But that mini moon pie is less than, it's probably less than 2 inches in diameter. And I got those arrows stacked all around it. That means if that was my deer I was shooting at open the morning deer season, or a hog, or a bear, or any other animal, and I was holding dead center where his heart is, every one of those shots would have killed him. So yeah, I'm sitting there and I'm not making a perfect shot on him and not hitting the exact spot I want, but by then I'm not letting the animal get away either. So go out and practice. Get your bow out, get you a moon pie, or get you a little target, something like that. You'll see me out here, you've seen me shoot golf balls and golf tees and everything else. Challenge yourself. Shoot the smallest targets you can find. Put you a blunt on and get you a tennis ball and throw it around the yard and shoot it. Change up your practice. Don't get in the habit of standing here and shooting the same spot on the same target from the same spots every time. Change the angles, change the distance, change the speed that you shoot. If you're one of them gap shooters that have to go through your full shot sequence where you're coming back, you're hitting your anchor, you're pulling through your shot, and you're lining up your tip and all this other stuff, that's gonna make you miss a lot of animals in the woods, because there's a lot of times you don't have time to do all that mess. But if you can take your bow, and when you're sitting in a stand, if an animal comes walking up, and you can put a 1/4 waist shot into him like that, you can kill him. If he's walking through that little gap, you don't have time to get your shot off, you can kill the animals if you'll put the practice in. If you'll learn how to really shoot these bows. Go ahead and leave all the comments, all the negative comments. Tell me everything I did wrong. But there's 7 arrows in the 2 targets there, and technically not a single miss on the animal. And didn't a single one of them have your shot for them. Till the next video, y'all stay safe and shoot straight.